Welcome to the Belief Matrix, a neuroscience-backed transformational experience. Who's ready for a powerful session together? Share with me in the chats. Turn your cameras on if they are not yet on so I can see your radiant and luminous smiling faces. Steve is in the house. Good to be with you, Steve. Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Keith, Raphael, Macy, Linda, Jerry, Nina, everyone. Welcome, Leanne. Welcome, Melissa, Carmen, everyone. Where is your energy coming into this training? Where's your state coming into this transformational experience? Good to be with you, Greg. Share with me in the chats. If you were to describe your state in one or two words, Nina is ready, open and ready, empowered. I love it. And share with us in the chats also where you're joining us. Where are you in the world? All these beautiful beings from around the world coming here together with a shared intention to transform any limiting pattern that's been showing up that doesn't serve you into clear, focused, purposeful, inspired action. And how awesome it is to know that. Let's see, we got Florida's in the house, Netherlands, Norway, London, Los Angeles, Rhode Island. Awesome. So know that wherever you are joining us from, you're in the right place at the right time for a meaningful breakthrough. Who can already sense some patterns that have been showing up that you're ready to experience for the last time? Because you've done the work. You've done the work. You've invested in your development. You've invested in your growth. But yet there's a pattern that keeps repeating. And you're ready to uncover what is causing that to happen. Gather insights, gather new distinctions, gather realizations, gather new learnings that allow that old pattern to dissolve. In light of a new awareness, in light of a new understanding. Who knows what the pattern is that's been showing up that you're ready to release? If you know what it is, raise your hands real high to the heavens, and you can put it in the chats. What is it? I see Nina's raising her hand. She's like, I am so ready. I feel that with you, Nina. And how about who in the room can sense that there's been something that's been blocking them, but they can't quite put their finger on it? It's like there's something that's coming out of the shadows into the light, something subconsciously blocking. Okay. So we're going to go deep into this experience today. And I'll start by sharing a story with you. How many of us, I'm curious, I see a few new faces and I see some of you that have been with me for a long time. Who's here for the first time? This is your first training with me. Let me take a look by show of hands. There's a few of you. Welcome. Welcome, Norman. Welcome. And then how many of you have been with me before? You've experienced such profound breakthroughs. You're ready to go even deeper. And then some of you we've just started getting to know each other. So I'll share with you a little bit about my story and how I became immersed in this body of transformational work. I embarked on a quest for freedom, truth, and enlightenment when I was 15 years old, except back then I called it running away from home. Here's a picture. Okay. I was so frustrated inside, but I knew that I was destined for more than what was showing up. Who's ever been there where you're looking at your results and they're not matching what you know in your heart and in your soul you're destined to create, to bring into this world, to contribute? Who's been in that place or who's in that place now? So I started searching, I started studying, I started learning, I started taking everything and applying it to my life. And I had a major breakthrough. I had several breakthroughs along the way that mirror the transformational process of the belief matrix. The first breakthrough I had was I dropped out of high school. And I felt like such a loser that I went back and I got my GED before my class had even graduated high school. And I decided there's immense power in a decision. When you make a decision, it's like you're cutting off from any other possibility. I decided I was going to change my life. Who's made that decision where you're like, you know what? The past is the past and right now is a brand new moment and I'm going to make a meaningful positive change. And I made that decision. And I ended up enrolling in community college, got my GED, enrolled in community college before my class had even graduated high school. And I remember feeling like I didn't have what it takes. Like I had self-doubt. Who can relate to self-doubt? Like you're wanting to move forward, but there's self-doubt or there's something that's blocking you. And I'll never forget my very first semester. I had an English class and a professor with Einstein-like hair, and his name was Dr. Breedenberg. And he said to me, stay after class. And in that moment, my heart sank. I was like, what did I do this time? I was already predicting and anticipating that I had done something wrong and that I was going to be called out for it. And when I went to meet with him and my head was down, he said something to me that no one had ever said to me in that way. He looked at me and he leaned in and he said to me, Niurka, you're brilliant. You shouldn't be in this class. He said, you should be in the honors class. And he took me to the dean of the honors department, Dr. Emerson. And Dr. Emerson said, on Dr. Breedenberg's recommendation, we're going to give you a full scholarship. We're going to pay for all your classes. We're going to pay for all your books. And you're now going to be in the honors program. And what happened in that moment was my own belief about my identity, my beliefs about what was possible, my beliefs about who I am started recontextualizing itself in light of this reflection. And I rose to the occasion. Guess what happened? In high school, I had a 1.6 grade point average, and I was seen as the troubled kid. Guess what I got my first semester in college? 4.0. Second semester, 4.0. Third semester, 4.0. The end of the first year, 4.0. Then I decided I was going to run for student body president because my goal was to make money, but I had no idea how to make money. Who's here, part of your goal is to create greater wealth, greater prosperity, greater abundance, greater generosity in who you are and what you're able to give and contribute into this world. So I said, okay, how am I going to make money? Here I am. I was like 18 years old. I had no idea how to make money, so I decided I was going to run for student body president. I'd never been in student body. I ran for student body president of Miami-Dade Community College, the largest community college in the United States, and I became the student body president of over 100,000 students. And this was a major quantum leap from my parents immigrating to the United States from Cuba, me running away, to having this quantum leap. Who can tell that there was a completely different belief structure that happened from the picture on the left to the picture on the right? A shift in identity, a shift in core values. Then I was like on a roll. I was like, okay, if I can create this, what else can I create? And I started putting my heart and soul into discovering my purpose. Every single one of you has a purpose. Who senses that there's a greater level of discovery of your purpose, of what it is that you're here to bring into the world, your unique expression, your unique gift, and how to bring it in a way that creates value, beauty, prosperity. So I started focusing on my gifts and developing my gifts. And by the time I was 19 years old, I had an opportunity to go on the road and work with this gentleman right here. Who's familiar with this face? Who knows who that is? That's Tony Robbins. So I traveled with Tony from the year, from 1999, end of 95. I traveled with Tony, beginning of 95, from 95 to 2000 for 5 years. I traveled with Tony Robbins. I lived in 16 different cities over a 5-year period. And I became, at 19 years old, I became his record-breaking #1 top producing corporate trainer and sales professional. And back then we didn't have social media the way we do. We didn't have AI. We used to find our directions using Thomas Guide maps. Who remembers that? This is pre-GPS. We would take out big maps and look for locations when we would arrive at a city. So I share this story with you because wherever you are right now, you are here. And you being here in this moment means something. It means something significant. I remember at 19, Tony said to me, Niurka, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And my dear beloved friends, you've made the decision to be here right now, fully present. And this decision opens the gates to a whole new level of possibility and your next level becoming. And I continued the journey. So in the year 2000, I worked with Tony from 95 to 2000. In the year 2000, I launched my own company. And I launched, in the beginning, creating corporate training and events. And then we grew. And I was blessed. I've had my company for 26 years now. I've been blessed to be on tour with Tony Robbins. Talk about life coming full circle. And this was so meaningful for me because when I was 19, I would see Tony on stage. And at the end of his presentations, he would share a story about his life coming full circle. And then me, years later, being the one who was on tour with him, having 90 minutes on the stage right before he hit the stage, was my story of coming full circle. So my friends, how is it that a kid whose parents immigrated, who dropped out of school, was able to have these quantum leaps and these breakthroughs? What do you think allowed that to happen? Share with me in the chats, because it's possible for all of us. What was it? It was my state. Because I didn't have the skill back then. I was just learning. I didn't have the strategy. I didn't have all the techniques. I was learning. I discovered how to access and embody an empowering state and recognize the beliefs that were blocking me and interrupt them and begin to literally rewire my brain. Who's ready to rewire doubt into confidence, limitation into possibility? Okay. Give me some enthusiasm in the chats. How are we doing? So that was a little bit of my story and how we got into this field. And then what happens is when you have your own breakthroughs and they blow your mind and you feel fulfilled, what do you want to do? You want to share it. You want to give it. You want to help others. You want to help. You want to contribute. So I've been blessed to be in this field and to work with all the legends and all the greats, and they're my dear friends. Many of you are here because I spoke at my dear friend John Asseroff's event a couple days ago. You see Tony there, you see Les Brown, you see Brian Tracy, who's a dear friend of mine. He just spoke at one of our events about a year ago. Michael Beckwith, who's a dear friend, who spoke on our stage a few months ago. He's the leader of the Agape International Spiritual Center. So this, for me, in the early days was a dream. Who's got a dream that they want to fulfill? Who's got a vision of what you want to create, that you would love to remove the obstructions, okay? Like, I don't know, move the obstructions so I can move with velocity. Velocity means speed and precision. With presence, not velocity, with presence to fulfill your highest aim. That's what this experience is about. So to maximize, we've got 2 hours, okay? Now we've got about 1 hour and 46 minutes in the main session. And then we have a 2-hour VIP session. So here's a few suggestions just to maximize everything we're covering here today. Number 1, clear all distractions. No multitasking. Can we all agree? Thumbs up. No multitasking for this time. Choose you fully and lean in. Can I see everybody leaning in and getting curious? Okay. Also, the way you move your body influences how you feel. If you're leaning back, watching passively like you'd be watching television, then you're going to be equally motivated to take action. So your body matters. Your body is one of the keys to activate your belief, to activate your state. So right now, if you were sitting on the edge of your seat as if you knew that the next thing that I was going to say was going to be the ultimate breakthrough, show me what your body would look like if you were ready for anything that the world could bring to you and you're ready to navigate it to successful completion. How does your body feel? How does your body move in that state? Who can sense just a little difference just by bringing intention into that? I can see it in you. Can you guys sense it? Share with me. Okay. So elongate the spine. Open the heart center. Feel a sense of expansion during our entire training. Okay. Feel like you're being lifted from the heavens above. This sense of expansion in your body is going to begin to interrupt old patterns. So when we're interrupting old patterns, this isn't just something in the realm of thought. This is also in your nervous system. Okay. So anytime where you felt doubt in the past, I saw doubt came up in the questionnaires. Anybody love to break free of self-doubt? Self-doubt has a physiology. If I said to you, there's a person behind door number 1 who has self-doubt, describe them for me, can you? Where's their shoulders, up or down? Where's their breathing, deep or shallow? Where's their posture, erect or kind of collapsing in on themselves? How many of you can see that there's a physiology to self-doubt? Yes or no? There's also a physiology to excellence. There's a physiology to inspiration. There's a physiology to empowerment. Are you ready to embody it? Okay, awesome. So right now, let's just start with the physiology. This is your first power technique. Elongate the spine, open the heart center, feel a sense of expansion. And as we go through this experience, you're going to have breakthroughs. You're going to have aha moments. You're going to have insights. You're going to have breakthroughs. I'm going to invite you to put B's in the chats. Can everybody put a big B in the chats? The B is describing a breakthrough. Okay, so now let's begin to decode. Let's begin to decode, to uncover, to elicit any limiting pattern or any limiting belief that's been showing up. It's not just in your thoughts, like I said. It's also in your nervous system. So we're going to notice it. We're going to lean in and get curious about it. We're going to, as we get curious, we open the space for transformation. Who prior to arriving was having resistance instead of curiosity? Anybody here feeling like, I don't want that anymore, I'm like resisting it? Anybody having that? Whatever you resist persists. Because we live in an attraction-based universe. You can never get enough of what you don't want. Wayne Dyer said that. So if somebody thinks of, I don't want this, what is their attention on? So shifting the attention into possibility. First, though, we become aware of it. So here's my first question. I'm going to ask you a few questions right now. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go through these questions quicker than I normally would in a deep dive, total immersion, transformational experience. Because we only have the short time that we have. But each of these questions, I want you to be aware that we could go much deeper. Let's do it together right now. Let's start with this. What's one limiting pattern or one limiting belief that has been showing up that doesn't serve you? And you're ready to experience it for the last time right here, right now. What is a limiting belief that you have that you wish you didn't have? And share with me in the chats. What is it? And if anybody knows what it is and they can articulate it succinctly, you can put your hand emoji up and we'll see if we have time to take a few examples. I'm lazy. Okay, that's a great example of a limiting belief. So I would say to Macy, are you ready to let that go, Macy? And then another thing to realize is I'm lazy. Get curious. Can everyone lean in with me? I'm very curious as to when did you decide that? Like, when did you decide that? I'm lazy. And one of the things that you'll discover is that some limiting beliefs might be more on the surface. Here's my diagram of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Some limiting beliefs might be more on the surface, like, oh, I'm not good at making sales calls. That's kind of more on the surface. But some other limiting beliefs are much deeper. And they were coded in the earliest stages of childhood, in the imprinting stages, or even carried down genealogically through ancestral patterns. How many of you can sense that there's some patterns in your ancestral lineage that are still showing up? And you're like, the buck stops here. It's essential that I liberate this pattern and do not pass this on to future generations. Who can relate to that? So here's what's happening. I'm enthusiastic and I'm challenged, okay? Because of the time that we have, these are different techniques. The technique that I utilize to transform or to recode a limiting belief that's more on the surface is different than a deeper limiting belief. Can you guys sense that one is a little easier to unlock than the other? For example, I'm not good at sales calls is different than I'm not good enough. Can you guys get the distinction? So I'm going to be sharing with you more details on this in a moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you as much as I can on this transformational process. Okay? Actually, before I tell you the transformational process, let me ask you a few more questions. Does everyone have a belief that isn't serving them or a pattern that they're ready to let go of? Here's the next question. How will you know when it's gone? What are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are you going to feel that lets you know this limiting belief is gone? Share with me in the chats. Astrid says I'd feel lighter. Okay. I'd breathe easier. Okay. I'd be in purposeful action. What would it give you to know that it was gone? How would it benefit your life to know that it was gone, that you were liberated of this? Ease pain, freedom. Okay, awesome. So now here's an interesting distinction. The limiting pattern or the limiting belief is there because it gave you something. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been there. It was serving you at a certain level of consciousness back then. I'll give you examples and then I'm going to ask you to share with me. The question I'm asking is, what did that limiting pattern give you? What was its highest positive intention for you? What was the positive benefit that it was intending to give you, but maybe it didn't manifest that way, but what was it giving you? There you go, guys, some sort of protection. Maybe someone had self-doubt because shining their light might have been scary or not safe. So often a person holds on. This is a really important piece that I'm sharing with you right now. And I'm curious if you have any breakthroughs, put B's in the chat so I share it. Is often a reason why a limiting pattern persists is because at the deepest level, subconsciously, the person is linking some form of benefit. This is keeping me safe. It's keeping me protected. It's keeping me belonging. Who's ever noticed that when you grow, you thrive, you hit victory, you might lose some belonging? Anyone notice that? You're going to have some people that you might need to let go of who are no longer in vibrational alignment with the direction that you're heading. And there's a part of you, maybe not your conscious mind, but there's a part of you that may be holding on to that belonging, that safety, that connection. This is what creates roller coaster results. Would it be valuable during the time that we have together today that I reveal to you the root cause of roller coaster results? What causes these roller coaster results? Would that be valuable? Okay. So now, can we all understand for a moment that whatever limiting pattern or whatever limiting belief has been showing up until now, why do I say up until now, my friends? Because it's a brand new moment. This is a brand new moment filled with infinite possibilities. Okay. It's a brand new moment filled with infinite possibilities. So knowing what it's given you, can everyone come up with at least one thing it gave you? Put it in the chats. Gave me safety, gave me belonging, gave me connection. What did it give you? It gave me comfort. How about that? Comfort. I get to sit on my couch and be comfortable instead of going out and possibly getting rejected or possibly getting criticized or possibly getting shut down, which would be another interpretation. Now, here's my question, my dear friends. What if there's a new way for you to meet the highest positive intention in a healthy way, in a healthful way, in a way that served you? Then would it be okay to release that old pattern if you could meet its highest positive intention in a new, better, healthful way? Then would it be okay to let it go? Share with me in the chats, yes or no. Would it be okay? So what happens is sometimes someone holds on to that old pattern. It's called secondary gain. That's what we call it in NLP. I'm about to define NLP in a moment. It's one of the pillars of transformational work that we bring into our courses. So secondary gain is when consciously you want to make a change, but subconsciously you're holding on to an old pattern because your nervous system and your subconscious mind is linking some form of benefit. That's called secondary gain. The reason why a lot of people go to seminars, go to events, and they learn things and they have breakthroughs and then they go back to patterns, old patterns and habits, is because they hadn't fully transcended secondary gain before going through the transformational experience. I want to make sure this is clear for everyone. Okay? In other words, in order for the transformation to integrate, in order for it to be lasting, every part of you has to be ready to make the change. Mental body, emotional body, energetic body, the conscious mind, subconscious mind, all of you. Who's ever had the experience where part of you wants one thing, another part of you wants something else? You guys ever had that? It's like part of me wants to make $100 million. Part of me wants to sleep until noon. Part of me wants to eat, wants to be lean, healthy, fit, and ripped. Another part of me wants to eat bacon double cheeseburgers and French fries and cookies every day. Who's ever had a pattern like this? Okay. So there's secondary gain. So the moment we find the highest positive intention, this is one of the things that we do at a level of precision that I don't know anyone else on earth that does it with this level of precision. Okay. The moment we find what is the highest positive intention of that old pattern and we unlock it, we can discover new, better ways to meet it. And then you're not missing anything. Who's ever tried to give something up, but there's a part of you that feels deprived and you gotta go back and get it? Have you ever done that? But this way, there's nothing deprived because we're meeting the highest positive intention in a new, better way. So today in the VIP room, I'm gonna make sure that every single person in the room transcends secondary gain. But let me do one example right now. So what's a limiting belief that you'd love to release? Put it in the chats. Let's put it in the chats. I saw self-doubt in the questionnaires. I saw I'm too old. I saw I don't have what it takes. I'm not good enough. Okay. So now let me ask you this. Everybody shake your body out. You guys are doing great. And just inhale a breath. And just do a slow exhalation. I'm going to ask you a question after this breath. Are you ready to let go of this old pattern or this old belief? And really tune into your body. Just tune into every cell in your being. Full presence, bringing all of your presence and all of your awareness into this moment. Are you ready to let go of this old pattern? Right here and right now, within every cell of your being, and to be fully aware of it consciously, yes or no? Would any part of you object? So let me ask you this. Who can sense that literally every single part of you is 100,000% full body yes, where you're like, can we get on with it already? I'm ready to let it go. Who's like in that place? Now, who's in a place of like, yeah, I'd like to let it go, and who's kind of in that place where I want to let it go, but you could sense there's something there, but let's just get really real with it. Who's in that place? Allison, Macy, that's called secondary gain. Nina, that's called secondary gain. So pausing, having the sensory acuity. I brought my sensory acuity glasses. You guys will laugh at me, but this is my glasses that I bring in our advanced courses to show heightened awareness, okay? So like the awareness to recognize that someone in the room has secondary gain. Because before we guide the transformational process, okay? For the transformational process, which I'm about to teach here, and I'm going to guide in the VIP. When we guide the transformational process, it's important here that we transcend secondary gain in the beginning. Because if not, things don't stick. Does that make sense? Like you could go through a transformational process, but if a part of you is still holding on to the old pattern because it's comfortable, because it's safe, because it gives me belonging, because it gives me connection, because it gives me blah, 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 it's not as complete. Who's ready to be so precise, so thorough, like mastery of precision in this process? That's what we're focused on right here, right now. So here's what the transformational process is. I'll share it with you. First, it's eliciting it, which we've already started eliciting it. Okay. What is a limiting belief that you have that you wish you didn't have? That's eliciting it. And what's happening as we're eliciting it, we're bringing it. Can you guys see my frame? Okay. Before you were just in it, you were in the pattern. Now we're eliciting it and we're going to begin to step out of it. Can everyone get curious? We're going to begin to observe it. And then there are techniques. Visualization techniques, journaling techniques, question techniques, somatic techniques to begin to loosen this old model of the world, to begin to loosen it. For example, I could ask you a question like, take out your brain floss first. Can everyone take out their brain floss? We're going to floss the brain because this is a mind-blowing question. I could ask you the question like, what wouldn't happen if you didn't have that old belief? Something wouldn't happen. Now, who can tell that that's a mind-blowing question? You're like Scooby-Doo a little bit, like, what would you say? Okay, because you cannot answer that question inside the boundaries of your old belief. You've got to step outside of it. So the transformational process is we elicit the old belief, we begin to loosen and interrupt the old model of the world. We're loosening it, we're interrupting it. From a neuroscience perspective, this is neuroplasticity. And then we're releasing the old pattern, installing new empowered ways of thinking and being, and then we're testing our work, and then we're future pacing, literally rehearsing the future experience, creating the future vision in advance in consciousness, seeing, hearing, and feeling it done in consciousness as you intended to be without being attached. My friends, this starts changing your brain. It's not just changing your thoughts, it's changing your beliefs, but it's also rewiring your brain, shifting your identity. Who can tell that this is a deeper topic than a couple hours? Who can tell that this type of work, I mean, I'd love to give it to you in a Starbucks cup. No, maybe not Starbucks. I was just joking, but where you could just have a sip and take it. It is deep work. So here's what we're doing. Good to see you, Julie. So here's what we're doing. I'm giving you as much as we can right now about this transformational process. I'm teaching the transformational process here. In the VIP room, I'm going to guide a transformational process. So the team will drop the links. If you're not in VIP, you want to make sure you get yourself into VIP. And then at the end of today, I'm going to be sharing with you about these two experiences that we have coming up. I just want you to write the dates down right now, because this is going to be the next level where we're able to be in an environment that I call total immersion. Total immersion is when we're together for a full day, for at least 2 to 4 days. And total immersion is where your subconscious is allowed to drop in to have the full and profound transformational experience that cannot happen in short segments. So on October 17th and 18th, we're having Supreme Influence, which is all about mindset and communication mastery. And then in November, we have Neogenesis, which is going to go all the way to the root of these beliefs, and not just the beliefs, the identity, the pattern. We're doing it virtual in November, and we're doing it in person live in Cancun in February. So I'll share with you about that, and then I'll take any questions once we are complete. Here's what's happening today, and here's what's happening in these courses. We are evoking the science of neuroplasticity. This is your brain's superpower. Scientists, this is a mind-blowing discovery, because decades ago they thought that if you had problems that were fixed in the brain, they were just fixed. Neuroplasticity is your brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Neuroplasticity proves that patterns of self-doubt, stress, worry, overwhelm, whatever, anxiety, they're not permanent. You have the power, my dear friends, to reshape these neural pathways, to replace old habits with new empowering ways of thinking and being, to rewire your mindset, your behavior, and your brain for optimum success and fulfillment. One of the tools and techniques that we utilize in this community for activating the powers of neuroplasticity within you is NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. First, let me come off my slide for a moment and let me see who is new to Neuro-Linguistic Programming. If you've been in my community, you're familiar with it, but who's new to NLP? Or who's kind of new? Like you're like, I'm kind of new. I'm really inspired to master this body of work. And you know what? If your cameras are not yet on, I'm going to encourage you one more time to put them on, because studies show that when your cameras are on and you're fully present, you retain more. You receive more. So what is NLP? NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. It's a methodology to reprogram your own brain. It's a psychological approach, and not just an approach, it's a set of techniques. Literally, a set of strategies and techniques to reprogram thoughts, emotions, behaviors to achieve desired outcomes. It's the study and application of how your language, your behavior, and your nervous system interact to produce patterns. Some of those patterns serve you and some of them don't. NLP shows you how to elicit and reprogram patterns that don't serve you into patterns that do, so you achieve rapid, lasting change. So my company, we've been in business 26 years. We are a global institute of NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and applied neuroplasticity. We offer certification in these programs. A lot of people come to us just for their own transformational experience. They're not going through the certification to be able to coach others. But if you are a coach who coaches others, this credential is incredibly powerful to add to the body of work that you already have. So we are an institute, and all of these are recognized by the American Board of NLP, the American Board of Hypnotherapy, the American Board of Timeline Therapy, the NPN Institute of Applied and Organizational Neuroscientists, which is a board of world-leading neuroscientists who've recognized our courses and have said, hey, this is the best in the world at creating shifts in your brain. Okay. So we offer certification. I'm curious, how many of you are coaches? How many of you, it's not only about your transformation, that's, of course, that's foundational. That's the key. You can't give something to someone you don't already have, but it's also about how you coach and guide others. Okay. So if you're a coach, I would love to guide you through the certification process that we do have. We actually have some certified coaches in the room. So actually, wait, whoops. I had a slide of one of our certified coaches and I don't know where it went. So we're coming out of the slide deck. Okay. So we have, hold on. Stop sharing PowerPoint. We had a slide there of one of our coaches, but we offer certification. Okay. So how we doing, everyone? Give me a quick feedback in the chats. Okay. So let's do a quick exercise together about breaking free of limiting beliefs. So grab a paper and a pen, and I'm going to invite everyone to draw these 9 dots on your paper. And I'm going to give you instructions in a moment. So these 9 dots represent the different areas in your life that are important for you to bring to a level of health, wellness, excellence, fulfillment. Because it's not just about achieving in one area, it's about really bringing all of the areas in your life to this level of higher order. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do a quick exercise. I'm going to ask you to connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. Connect all 9 dots. Here's the instructions. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. I'll give you a moment. Who's doing this for the first time? If you're doing it for the first time, you can either raise your hands or put a yes in the chats, just so I know who's doing it for the first time. Okay. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. Who's having difficulty doing that? Okay, I see Norman's a little challenged doing it. Who else is having some difficulty connecting all 9 dots using 4 straight lines? You can't lift your pen. I see Macy raising her hand. Who else is having some challenge with this? Who's finding this to be hard now that you've been doing it for, about a minute? Who's like, man, this is hard? Who's thinking to themselves, is this even possible? Anybody having a thought like that? Is this even possible? Can you even do this? Who's having a limiting belief come up? Is this even possible to do? I don't know if this is possible to do. Yep, can I see the slide again? You got it. Thank you for asking. Give me 1 second. And here we go. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. I'm just giving you 30 more seconds. Take all the time you like in these last 30 seconds to get your response. Okay, share with me your experience in the chats. If you got it, say I got it. If it's hard, say it's hard. If you can't figure it out, say I can't figure it out. Norman, did you get it? Was that your first time, Norman? That was your first time. Let me see it. Hold up your paper. I want to see. Let's see Norman's. That was his first time. Can we see Norman's? Let me see. Connect all 9 dots. Did you collect all of them? I can't see the paper tube. My team's got to pin you. All right. Who hasn't been able to get it? Who's like, this is hard. I can't figure it out. Who's getting a little frustrated even with the exercise? Like, come on. How do I figure this thing out over here? All right. Watch this. Great job, Norman. I couldn't see your paper, though. Connect all 9 dots. Now, how many of you were attempting to connect all 9 of the dots inside the box? Who was attempting to connect all 9 dots inside the box? Raise your hand if you're attempting to connect all 9 dots in the box. My question for you, my friends, is where else is that showing up in your life? And I want to pause and let that really sink in. Where else is that showing up in your life where there's possibilities, there's opportunities, but you're not seeing them because you're looking through that particular frame? Even though there's all these possibilities, you're not seeing them. And there's not only one. Let me give you another example. Same thing. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines and you can't lift your pen. Here's another one. So in order for you to have succeeded with this exercise, you had to think way outside the boundaries of your previous thinking. You're like, Risho, you had to go way outside the boundaries of your old patterns, way outside the boundaries of your old beliefs or your old paradigms. And when that happens, you have breakthroughs, meaningful breakthroughs. That's exactly, see, sometimes somebody is trapped. They're trapped in a disempowering belief matrix, even though there's all these opportunities and possibilities. We have so many amazing case studies. Here's a case study of one of our graduates, Courtney. When he came to Supreme Influence, he was feeling stuck. He was fighting with his wife. He was broke. He borrowed $10,000 from his mother-in-law just to keep his business afloat. But he came and he showed up and he realized there's something within me. There's something within my leadership. There's something within how I'm showing up. And that when I figure that out, everything's going to change. He committed. He came. He actually revisited. He came again. And he had a major, major breakthrough. And he shares, there's this beautiful video that he has on the website. He went from broke to now him and his beautiful wife. You see them in the pictures. They've established a net worth of over $6 million. They have the #1 real estate team in South Alberta. The #1 top selling EXP team of real estate in all of Canada, the entire Canada. And look at him. He's in amazing shape. He's a wonderful father. He has a beautiful relationship with his wife, with his kids. And that's what I'm talking about, connecting the dots. Okay. But it started with recognizing there's something within me that I'm not seeing. There's something within me. And showing up. And playing full out, that's the key. That's the difference that makes the difference. So we live in a field of infinite possibilities. How many of you know that right now to be true? That we live in a field of infinite possibilities. That right now there's infinite possibilities of what you could create, what you could experience, what you could accomplish, what you could achieve. We live in a field of infinite possibilities. Enlightened masters have been saying this for centuries. Science confirms it. We live in a field of infinite possibilities. This diagram that I'm showing you right now is called the NLP communication model. Those of you that are VIP, you have this amazing soul workbook that has all the neuroscience in there. And you'll see that this diagram is on page 16. That little star that has 16, it'll tell you where this is in your diagram. So this represents the field of infinite possibilities. There's all these possibilities of what you could create, accomplish, experience, achieve. And because it's a field of infinite possibilities, it's all available. Anything that you could desire to have happen is available, and so is its opposite. All the things you don't want are available. That's what infinite possibilities means. Everything. Now, in a field of infinite possibilities, your brain and your nervous system cannot take in infinite possibilities. It's like too much information. Do y'all imagine your brain and nervous system taking in infinite possibilities? We can't do it. It's too much data. So what our conscious mind does all day long is our conscious mind deletes information. It distorts information. And it makes generalizations about reality. When you really understand this model, it's a major breakthrough. So as I'm teaching it, if you're having breakthroughs, I'd love to know. You can share with me in the chats. So here's what we say in NLP. We say in NLP, perception is projection. Perception is projection. Meaning in a field of infinite possibilities, it's all available. What you're seeing is what's reflecting back to you. Your own beliefs, your own identity, your own core values, your own sense of self. Your programming. This is awesome news, my friends. You know why? Because it means programming can be updated, just like software. This is why one of my signature quotes is that when you change, the world around you changes. That you have that much power. But what a lot of people do is they try to change what's out here. Trying to change what's in my bank account. Trying to change my body. Trying to change the number on the scale. Trying to change a relationship. But what's out here is reflecting the deeper beliefs, values, identity. Perception is projection. Now let me tie this to neuroscience. In neuroscience, there's something called the reticular activating system. And then there's something called the predictive brain. Now, here's the deal, my friends. I'm going to share with you about the neuroscience right now, but I want you to know that learning about the neuroscience does not transform your life. Who gets that? I mean, it's great to know about the neuroscience. It's empowering, it's inspiring, but that doesn't transform your life. What transforms your life is the deep dive, transformational, total immersion experiences, where we can bring you into these old patterns and interrupt them in a way that is different than you've ever experienced them before, bringing you into a state of heightened awareness. So when you experience these patterns, you experience them differently. So let me share with you, though, what the neuroscience has to say about it, so your logical mind gets all excited about the power of these processes that we're doing. So neuroscience talks about the RAS, the reticular activating system. Your brain receives so much more information than you can consciously process. So because of that, attention is selective. So it's like all these possibilities are happening, where's my frame, and you're looking through a frame, even though there's all these possibilities. Has anybody been in a scarcity frame? Has anybody been in a lack or limitation frame? Anybody been in a not enoughness frame or an I'm not ready frame? Because here's what happens is when somebody is in that frame, there's a loop that begins to occur. This is neuroscience. It's called the belief prediction loop. So beliefs shape what you expect, then you expect it, then it influences your perception, it influences your response, and then it reinforces it. Boom, somebody gets stuck in a loop. And I have seen people stuck in this loop for decades. Anybody been in that loop before? I know the loop. I've been there. And I know the way out. That's why I'm fired up about guiding people to the portal of liberation. Because it sucks to be in that loop ongoingly. And you have a gift to bring into the world. So when you break free of this loop and you're anchored in empowering beliefs, that's one of the things we teach at Supreme Influence. At Supreme Influence, we teach how to evoke authentic, empowering states and anchor them. How to anchor them. Who would love to have a way to anchor empowering states naturally at will, where you could call forth an empowering state naturally at will, no matter what happens? Somebody rejects you. Somebody tells you they're not interested. Somebody, criticizes you, and you're able to be clear, centered, totally in your power, no matter what is happening, because you've anchored a state of excellence. You've anchored a state of presence. You've anchored it. This will change your life. This is exactly what happened. Here's another case study with one of our brilliant graduates, Jessica Shack. When she attended her first Supreme Influence event, she was broke on the phone with the electric company during the break to avoid shutoff. After she attended, and she went all in. Literally, she came, she revisited, she even traveled with me to Bali when I take a group every couple years on an epic adventure to Bali, Indonesia. And she played full out, and her income, her business, she became an entrepreneur, she started her own company. Last year, she earned $487,000 after being, is that a quantum leap? It's a shifting, not just in your belief, my friends. You know what happens when you shift your beliefs? Your identity. Who can sense that there's a part of their identity that maybe is in alignment with the highest of what's possible for you? One of the ones that I hear often is this, am I enough? Anybody navigated that? Like feeling of enoughness, being enough? See, here's what happens. I'll give you another neuroscience term. There's something in neuroscience called the predictive brain. And what is the predictive brain? The predictive brain, here, I got a slide for you on it. The predictive brain reveals that your brain is not a passive observer of reality. It's continually generating and updating a model of reality based on how you coded and interpreted your past experiences. And it's using that model to interpret what you perceive right now in real time. So your perception is being shaped by prediction. Who's ever predicted that it wasn't going to work? Who's ever predicted that you didn't have what it takes yet? Have you predicted maybe in the past, because we're in a brand new moment, have you predicted that you're not ready yet? Here's what happens, my friends. Your prediction enters the room before you do. Really let that sit for a moment. This is major breakthrough stuff. And I'm curious if you're having breakthroughs, because when I got this, I had breakthroughs. So I'm curious you could share with me. But your prediction enters the room. So how many of you have ever went to go pick up the phone for a sales call or walked into an event for networking, and there's a part of you that's predicting something less than the optimum outcome, less than the most extraordinary possibility? Who's predicted something less than in the past? And you've done that as a pattern. Anybody had some predictions that aren't serving you as a pattern? And now it might not just be in business, because I'm talking about your whole life. Who's had some predictions about their health? Who's had some predictions about love and relationships? Who's had some predictions about their own self-worth, what rooms you belong in? Who's had a prediction like, I don't belong in that room, I'm not there yet, I don't have what it takes yet? Who's had that prediction before you even enter? And who's ready to have it for the last time? Are you guys feeling enthusiasm? I'm feeling enthusiasm being here with you. How are we doing? Give me some feedback in the chats. Because when you shift this prediction, everything transforms. So my friends, what predictions have you been making? We're in a sandbox of transformation. There is zero judgment here. There's only unconditional love. From the deepest part of me, what predictions have you been making? Some of them may serve you. Who's been making some predictions that haven't served you? Who's made some predictions about other people? And then what happens is these predictions start becoming self-fulfilling prophecies, because that's where, when the prediction happens, that's where the attention goes. And when the attention goes there, that's when the focus goes. And then all of a sudden, you are a creator. Your focus, your attention is a creative power. So how valuable would it be to have tools, to have techniques, to have strategies, to recognize in real time, anytime you catch yourself having one of those old predictions, but this time you can catch yourself. This time you interrupt it. In real time, what would that be worth? Please share with me in the chats. What would that be worth to have the awareness and the skill and the precision and the technique to catch yourself having a disempowering prediction and literally interrupt it and redirect your nervous system, your focus, your entire being towards the possibility of who you are truly and what you're here to create? That's exactly what you're going to receive at the Supreme Influence event that is happening in October. Precisely that. And then we're going to go deeper to the core at the root and neogenesis, which is the ultimate liberation. So what predictions have you been making, and what's going to happen in your life when those old predictions are liberated? So here's another quick slide for the neuroscience. You'll see the star is on page 6 in the VIP book. Repeated beliefs become predictions. So a limiting belief isn't just a thought that you keep having. It's a prediction that your brain has been running so consistently that it feels like reality. So when somebody has this belief, they're suppressing contradicting evidence. There could be evidence that you are totally capable. You are absolutely able to bring this in, that people want your products, your service, your offerings. But who has suppressed that in the past? Anybody ever suppressed that? Somebody says, wow, that was great. You're like, yeah, that's nothing big. Anyone ever played down their accomplishments? Played down their victories? Okay. So these predictions suppress contradictory evidence of your success. They amplify confirming evidence. Oh my God, there's another example. See how I'm not good enough. Okay. And that generates reinforcing emotions that then shape the experience of reality. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'll give you a teaching from Neogenesis. In Neogenesis, I spend an entire segment on day 1 talking about the workings of the subconscious mind, the prime directives of the subconscious mind. Actually, I'll talk a little bit about it as I share with you how to access these deeper. Here's my subconscious mind over here. How to access here deeper. Because a lot of these patterns, these beliefs came or were encoded at a very young age. They were encoded at a time where your conscious mind had not developed to say not true, false. Okay. Who can sense some limiting beliefs from early? Or maybe some limiting beliefs that have been carried down genealogically. So here's what I'll do. Before I go into the details of the subconscious, let me have this be super meaningful for you by picking an area of your life in which you're committed to have a breakthrough. Can everyone pick one area? I'm going to draw something for you. Pick an area so we make this context specific. Like if you could apply this training to one context of your life, your finances, your physical health and vitality, your life's purpose, whatever it would be, can everyone pick one context and put it in the chats? What's a context of your life? I see money, life purpose, finances, love. Oh, Chris, it's so good to see you. Everyone, make sure you have your cameras on so I can see your faces. Money, okay. So does everyone have one category that they can pick? Okay, let me make sure I got, hold on. Okay. One category. Okay, awesome. Okay, so in that category right now, you are getting a result. What determines the results that you're getting in the context of health, finances, life's purpose? What determines your results? Tell me in the chats. Julie says beliefs. Yeah, definitely your beliefs. But even before that, it's your actions, right? So you're taking actions, certain behaviors that are leading to that result. What determines the actions that you take? A lot of people know what to do. To be healthier, to be more fit, to make more sales, they know what to do. What determines whether somebody is consistently taking focused, purposeful action in the direction that they're inspired and committed to go? What fuels actions? Julie said it a moment ago, it's your beliefs, right? Excuse me, beliefs. And these beliefs are fueled and they're intertwined, for lack of a better term, with core values and an identity. Identity. So there's an identity and values and beliefs at the deepest level that are determining the actions and the results. Now, here's the interesting thing. Core values. Let's talk a little bit about core values. What if I shared with you that I could sit with someone for less than 5 minutes and elicit, here's the transformation process, I can elicit their core values in less than 5 minutes. And I can teach you how to do it. Would you like me to teach you how to do it? Okay, I'll teach you how to do it. We do it, we elicit core values on day 2 of Neogenesis. Because what happens often is I ask somebody a values elicitation question. Like, what's most important to you in the context of your health, or what's most important to you in your business? And someone might say success and contribution. But then I look at their results. They're not succeeding at the level they intend, and they're not contributing because they're saying, one day when I hit the goal, then I'll contribute. The question becomes, is success and contribution truly their core values, yes or no? You tell me in the chats. Is it truly their core values? If I asked them, I said, what's most important to you? They said success and contribution. But then I look at their results and they're not doing that. Is that really their core values, yes or no? No. It's what they wish their values were. It's what they'd like their values to be, but it's not integrated, authentic, embodied truth. You will always know what someone values by looking at their result. You will always know what someone values by looking at where do they spend their time, their energy, their money, their focus, their resources. That'll tell you what they value. But often someone says something that's different than the reality of what's happening. It's called incongruence. And when someone is in incongruence, they lose their power. So now, let me share with you what happens with these values. Hang on, let me find my slide here. Values can be conscious or they can be unconscious. See, what happens is you have a conscious mind, but you have a subconscious mind. And these are not two different minds. They're expressions of mind, just like night and day are expressions of a wholeness. What happens often, though, is that someone consciously wants something, but subconsciously their nervous system and their subconscious mind is holding on to an old pattern. Is everybody crystal clear on that? We've been talking about that in the opening segment with secondary gain. Let me show you a slide on this. Hold on. Okay. So here you see the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. If someone is blocked, they are out of rapport with their own subconscious mind. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. Let me come out of here and repeat that. If someone is feeling blocked financially in their health, they're out of rapport with the deeper parts of themselves. If that's a pattern that's looping. Doesn't mean you're not going to have a moment where you feel blocked, but you navigate through it successfully. But if there's a looping pattern, okay. So the conscious mind is more objective, it's more logical, it's sequential. The subconscious mind is more subjective, more intuitive. This is the gut feeling. Who's ever had a gut feeling? Like, maybe logically you're like, oh, I should do this, but my gut is telling me something else. Who's had that happen? Where you might think one thing, but your gut's telling you something else. So when you're thinking something up here, that's your conscious mind. Your gut, that's your subconscious mind. So one of the things that I guide in our transformational experience, it's not only about you learning new strategies, new techniques, new ways of thinking and being. It's also about you unlearning You must unlearn certain patterns that you learned that did not serve you. Who learned to not own their voice and speak up? Who learned to shrink down? Who learned to play small? Okay? Who learned to hide? Who learned to just be quiet? So it's unlearning the old patterns and then embodying the new empowered way of being. And here's the thing. One of the prime directives of the subconscious mind is it's the domain of emotions. It's the domain of emotions. So when you have an emotion come up, stress, overwhelm, fear, that's the realm of the subconscious. Now, what happens earlier, I said about the early stages in childhood, and this is why I'm so passionate about the work we do at Neogenesis, because we go into the root cause, what we call the root cause. A very sad story is the story of baby elephants in a circus. Anyone ever heard the story of these baby elephants in a circus where they take these baby elephants and they tie their leg to this pin? And the baby elephant tries to break free of the rope, tries to break free of the rope, tries to break free of the rope, but he's only got this little area that he can move in. And he tries to break free, tries to break free, tries to break free, and he can't, until finally one day he decides that he just can't. And that's his reality. And he accepts it. There's a term for it. It's called learned helplessness. And then when the elephant grows up to be big and strong and mighty, it could easily pull that rope, but it doesn't even try anymore because it's already accepted its identity. It's already accepted that reality. So that's why the power of the work we do is taking you out of those old environments. Who can tell that the environment has so much impact on what is happening in your field? Okay, the environment that you're in. This is why I've been guiding these experiences for 26 years. Isn't that amazing? It's like a quarter of a century, more than half my life. And when you leave an environment and you go into total immersion, you create the fertile conditions for breakthrough, just like an acorn. The acorn has the conditions within it to become the mighty oak tree, the mighty oak forest from one acorn. But if you take the acorn, you put it in your pocket, it doesn't fulfill its highest potential. So in this context, a transformational context, right? For the acorn, what is that context? For the acorn, it's the nourishing soil, the luminous light, the fresh water, the fresh air. And when you're in that environment, boom, what happens is the entelechy activates. Who knows that word entelechy? Entelechy is a Greek word. The philosopher Aristotle talked about entelechy. He said it is the entelechy of an acorn to become the mighty oak tree and the mighty oak forest. There is an entelechy within you, my dear friends. Entelechy. What is entelechy? Entelechy is the intelligence, is the wisdom of the becoming all that you are meant to become. It is that divine impulse within you of becoming all that you are meant to become. Who can feel that pull of becoming all that you are meant to become? Oh my goodness, I don't see hands coming up. You guys, were you just in the moment with me? Do you feel the pull? You must. We're in this room of being all that you are meant to become. Yes? This is the entelechy within you. So as we remove obstructions and we create the fertile conditions, that's what we do at Supreme Influence. That's what we do at Neogenesis. That's the reason why we're not only doing them virtual, we're doing them in the beautiful turquoise beaches of Cancun on the Mayan Riviera. Why? To bring you out of an environment and into a space that allows the luminous light that is you to shine powerfully. I call it a cocoon of transformation, a chrysalis of complete and utter transformation. Now, what happens in a chrysalis? There's the caterpillar, right? And the caterpillar has lived as a caterpillar its whole life. There it is, caterpillar consciousness. And this is true for all of us, myself included. And we're moving through life. And then all of a sudden something happens. The entelechy within us, the intelligence within us is starting to inform us that there's a new birth that is happening. A new birth, a rebirth, a new beginning. We call it a neogenesis. Neo in Greek means new. Genesis means beginning. It's about a new beginning. And the symbol that represents new beginning is the phoenix. Who's heard the myth and the legend of the phoenix? See, I love myth because within myth and story, there's reflecting back to us our own essence, archetypes in myths. So in myth, in the legend of the phoenix, there's only one phoenix. And the phoenix knows when its time has come. It's time to die to the old self and be reborn into its next level becoming. So what does it do? It doesn't resist. It creates a nest ceremoniously of cinnamon, myrrh, and frankincense. And then it ignites a sacred fire and it dances in the flames. And the old self dissolves. The old beliefs dissolves. The old identities dissolve. The old ways of thinking and being dissolve. They are sacrificed into the fire. And the fire transforms. And then from the fire, an egg is born. And from that, a new phoenix is born that then soars into the temple of the sun and into the next stage of its evolution. So my dear friends, this story of the phoenix is my story. Death and rebirth. I told you some of it in the beginning. Teenage runaway to the rebirth of the student body president, to the rebirth of the top trainer for Tony, the entrepreneur, all these rebirths. These are moments of rebirth. Who's ready to let the old go and step into the next level becoming? That's the deep work of neogenesis. Let me share with you the power of these core values, doing deep core values work. So what are values? And there you see, the symbol is the phoenix. Values are generalizations about deep belief systems. They're deeply ingrained. They can be conscious or unconscious. And they can also be conflicting. That's where people get roller coaster results, because they have one value that wants this amazing, successful contribution and impact, and they have another value that's all about comfort and security. And they're not able to bring those into alignment yet. So values can be conscious or unconscious. They can change with context. Somebody could be super disciplined in their health and vitality and fitness, and then be totally undisciplined in their business, or vice versa. So values can change with context. Someone may be an amazing parent, but they might not be as amazing with their prospects or clients. So values determine what's most important to you. They're primarily responsible for your motivation. They determine how you spend your time, how you spend your money. They illuminate what you want to achieve or what you want to avoid. They form the framework for decision making. I know I'm going through these quickly, but can everyone see how your core values are driving your life? They're influencing your perception. They're influencing your choices. They're influencing your decisions. They're influencing what you move towards, what you move away from. They're arranged hierarchically. There's a hierarchy of your values. And what if I shared with you that your top, and they're context specific. You might have one values for your finances that's different than your values for your health. Okay? And they're arranged in a hierarchy in each of these areas. That's why when you come to Neo, you pick one area that you're committed to transform. Let's say your finances, and you're coming in with that. That's the focus. That's the portal. That's the portal of transformation. Day one, we set the stage. Day two, I guide you through a deep, cathartic, transformational process. It takes us an entire day to remove or to elicit the code. You guys know what I mean by code, right? The record, if you will, that's been playing for so long up until now. Who's had a certain record that they can recognize? The I'm not good enough, or I don't have what it takes. Anyone have another name for the record? Whatever different names of different people. We remove that record that's been looping. Take it out of the shadows and into the light. And as that happens, you feel a sense of, it's like a spiritual colonic, okay, of the highest order. You start feeling a sense of liberation, a sense of possibility, a sense of space to consciously create what it is that you're here to create. It's the basis of personal standards. Values influence everything, your social interactions, how you communicate, how you relate. Is everyone clear that, how many of you, actually let me ask you this, how many of you can sense that you might have had values that have been conflicting, where you take one step forward and two steps back? Anyone notice that? You might have value where you take one step forward, two step back. So here's what we do. I will guide you to elicit the core values that have been driving your actions and your results in the area that you picked up until now, in a space of unconditional love, being totally candid and honest. And it will be one of the biggest breakthroughs of your entire life, because you will look at these values and it will be evident and obvious. No wonder I'm getting these results. Based on these values, these results are the obvious natural outcome. In the presence of that, that's liberating. So day 2, we just remove it. So can you sense that when we remove something that's been with you for decades and we create space for something new? How many of you can start to just conceive how liberating that space could be? Okay. Then on day 3, what we do is I guide a process. One of the most powerful processes we guide in this entire community, called timeline therapy, timeline re-imprinting, where I guide you to the root of whatever's blocked you. And I guide you in a space of pure awareness. I guide you to access your highest wisdom and understanding of your highest self. And you experience these old patterns in a whole new way. You experience them with wisdom and understanding that allows you to unlock a learning. You're going to unlock a learning and a distinction that has been a blind spot for you prior to this moment. And it's going to be different for each and every one of you. It's different for all of you. And when you have that realization, it's like the ultimate breakthrough, not just in your mind, in your nervous system. You feel it. Your whole body feels this. And then this space is created. And in the presence of that space, your authentic values. We're not giving you new values. The authentic values that you incarnated with, the values of your soul, the values of your unique expression, the values of your unique gift, the values of who you are, emerge. Because we've removed the obstructions. We've removed the clouds that have been obstructing the sun. In Sanskrit, they call it the kleshas. Kleshas are the obstacles to enlightenment, the obstacles to you living your best life. So we clear the kleshas, and the authentic values in alignment with your purpose, your soul's unique expression, emerge. Naturally and authentically, without trying, just because we remove the obstruction. Who would love for the transformational process to happen with greater ease and grace? Because I know for a lot of you, you've worked hard. Who can relate to that? You've worked hard. You've done a lot of work. Who would love a little ease and grace in the process? Okay? So a little ease and grace is allowing yourself to be guided, realizing you don't have to do this. I've invested my life to develop this in the most precise manner for the greatest breakthrough. Check out what one of our brilliant graduates says about this values process. Listen to her, because she was mind blown. And here was her experience of going through the values elicitation. Let me make sure I have my sound on. Oops. Here we go. Make sure I got sound. There we go. Okay. How we doing, everybody? Give me some feedback in the chats. I know we got a lot of content we're going through today. You guys are doing so great. Here we go. Could you share just a little bit about just the difference between SIA and NEO? And I know you've graduated through both of them and you've been to it more than once. How many times have you been in NEO?
3 times.
Okay.
And my 3rd SIA. And I'll just preface this by saying the first time that I went to one of Niurka's courses, I thought, who are these people that need to go more than once? Like, I really did. I'm like, I don't know what's up with them. Like, who has the time, the money to like repeat it? And here I am being like 3rd time for each. And I plan to go again. I experienced.
You know what? I thought, Ender, can you pull up I pulled the wrong video up. She was going to go into some other experiences. Ole, if you could connect with Ender to find the one where she's talking about NEO.
Yeah, as being transformation.
Let me see here. Can you guys believe that? I picked up
parts of your mind into.
Oh my goodness. I just had the one. I just brought the wrong video up. Can you guys give me some love and some support? Because I brought up the wrong video. Okay, so it happens. My team will get the other video. Basically, what she talks about is how mind-blowing it was when she popped out the other end with her core values transformed. Okay, with her core values transformed. Because here's what happens at Neo. Actually, while my team figures that out, I'll share with you one other case study. Okay, because we have so many. Here is Andy, who came to me when she was living in a fog. Who can relate to having lack of clarity? Like, there's another level of clarity. Okay. Well, she came, she was living in a fog, but she knew deep down that she had a gift to bring into the world. She committed, she came through Neo. She had such profound breakthroughs that she ended up bringing her students and her community to Neo. Let me share with you the breakthroughs that she had and then watch the case study of what's happened in her life. Watch this.
I'm completely blown away by just the power and the truth that Niurka is able to elicit in me. Last year when I came, I was just living in a fog. A few months after I walked out of the doors, opportunity after opportunity after opportunity just kept showing up, and I realized very quickly that not only was I going to hit that goal of $250,000, but I was going to far surpass it. And so I came back this year to gain even more clarity, and I know exactly what to do now and exactly what steps to take. And she brings another breakthrough, and it's just like, you're just like vibrating in this frequency. It's amazing. And so now I get to leave with even more knowledge and this energy that's going to allow me to get to that next level. So everyone needs to be in the presence of Niurka. Everyone needs to get to an event. Everyone needs to experience this for themselves, because it's one of those things you can't always articulate in words, but you can feel it in your energy. You all need to experience that, because from that place we can go out and co-create anything that we deeply want. So thank you, Niurka, for helping me turn my dreams into a reality.
Such a great story. And look at her there. She's a leader. She's grown her own community. She's written a book. She does transformational courses, events, and retreats. She specializes in somatic work. And back then, the goal was 250. She far exceeded that. And now she's like on fire. And she's leading. The thing also is, it's not only about her financial success that she's had, is that she's living her life's purpose. She's living her unique gifts. So that's the power of this. So who's fired up about what's possible in this journey? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause and I'm going to share with you, whoops, let me come out of here. I'm going to share with you a little bit about what we have. Actually, I'm going to share with you first about the timeline experience that we do at Neo and how this is going to be one of the most profoundly liberating and transformational experiences you've ever had in your life. Let me give you an example first. Everyone sit up tall in their chair. Elongate your spine. Open your heart center. And I'm going to ask you a question and give me the first response that comes to mind, whatever that may be. Okay? Point to the past. Point in any direction you like. Point to the past. Now point to the future. So if you're looking from my perspective, you see people are pointing in different directions. I see some are pointing behind them, some are pointing in front of them. I see Allison is pointing over here for one, over here for the other. I see different directions. So one of the prime directives of your subconscious mind is that it organizes all of your memories. The subconscious mind is the storehouse of memories. It is also the domain of emotions. And another one of its prime directives is that it represses, right? It's the storehouse of memories. It represses memories with negative emotion until you're ready to deal with it. And when you're ready to deal with it, it presents it for resolution. Let me give you an example in a story, because stories are so great. So years ago, I had a woman who was a graduate of our courses, and she came to me and she said, Niurka, I'm having some challenges with my husband. I'm wondering if you could please work with him. I said, what's going on? She says, there's something within him. It's a pattern where he feels this sense of loss. Like no matter what is happening, he feels like he's going to lose, like he's going to lose the deal. Like right now, our kids are getting ready to go away to college, and he feels like he's going to lose them. He feels like he's going to lose me. He feels like he's going to lose the deal. He feels like he's going to lose the opportunity. He's in this state of loss, and I'm not sure what's causing it. And I said to her, well, will he be willing to come to Neogenesis? So he comes to Neo. And we're on day 3 of Neo. And all of a sudden, we're on day 3, and I'm guiding the timeline process, and he has a major breakthrough. All of a sudden, this memory that he hadn't thought of in decades popped into awareness. Now remember, the subconscious mind represses memories with negative emotion until you're ready to deal with it. When you're ready to deal with it, it presents it for resolution. So now the subconscious mind goes, hey, I'm in this safe space, ready for transformation. Boom, it presents this memory. So he's going through this visualization that I guide, and all of a sudden this memory comes up that he hadn't remembered in decades. And he's at the zoo with his dad. And he says to his dad, Dad, can I please get the balloon? I want to get a balloon. And his dad says, you can't get a balloon because you're going to lose it. He says, but you can get this little wax statue over here. And little boy goes, I don't want a wax statue. I want the balloon. I want the balloon. Dad says, you can't get the balloon. You're going to lose the balloon. Let's get you the wax statue. Little boy goes, I don't want the wax statue. I want the balloon. I want the balloon. So this keeps going. Finally, after a period of time, the dad goes, fine, gets him the balloon. The little boy's so excited. He's like walking around with his balloon. He's all fired up. All of a sudden, something catches his attention, and guess what happens? He lets go of the balloon. And in that moment, in an angry tone, his dad looks at him and points at him and says, see, I told you, if you don't hang on tight to things, you lose them. In the mind of a child, with the resources of a child, in the imprinting stages of childhood, okay? Let's say this is the timeline. Your timeline is not a straight line, okay? But let's just say it implies a straight line for this exercise, okay? And here's where the gentleman came to me. Let's say he's in his 40s. That's where he came to me. All of a sudden, he has this memory. There he is, 4 years old, 5 years old at the zoo. So in that moment, that experience happened, and his dad said that. With the resources of a child, the conscious mind has not developed to say, hey, can you relax a little bit? Please don't project your anger onto me. The conscious mind has not developed. So what happens in this moment? They're like a little sponge. The subconscious mind is open. The nervous system is available. The moment that happens, an emotion comes up. What emotion do you think would come up in the presence of that for a 4 or 5-year-old? Tell me in the chats. An emotion comes up. What emotion? Shame, hurt, sadness, okay? But the child isn't safe to feel. So the emotion becomes suppressed. And a belief is formed and a decision is made. A belief, I lose things. I just lose things. And a decision, I need to hold on tight. So there is a emotion. 3 things happen simultaneously. An emotion is repressed, a belief is formed, and a decision is made. And this gets coded onto the timeline. All of a sudden, the person begins to experience reality from that frame. As I'm telling this story, who's having their own memories coming up of things that happened to you as a child? Or who's even having breakthroughs? You could put B's in the chats. Okay. I'm curious. I see Nina's having some B's. So beliefs are formed, decisions is made. So now he goes out into his life. He's 5, he becomes 6, he becomes 10, he becomes 20. He doesn't know why. He has this sense that he needs to hold on tight, because if he doesn't hold on tight, he's going to lose it. All of a sudden, he's having this particular situation happen in business, and he feels like he needs to hold on tight, he's going to lose it. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, my friends. Who can relate to this pattern and is having some insights in me teaching it for yourself? Okay? If you can relate to this, please make sure you're in the VIP room. The team will drop the link so I can keep this conversation going with you. Because here's the beautiful realization. You want the breakthrough? Insight? And now it's one thing to have an insight. It's another thing to be guided through the transformation. Here's the beautiful thing. There's something here for you. In these experiences that have been buried for so long, up until now. There's something there for you. There's a gift that is buried in the experience. It's like hidden treasure within your own being. There's a gift within you. There's a treasure. There's a discovery. There's a gift that once discovered and integrated, there's a learning, a new awareness, a new distinction that once integrated allows this old pattern to dissolve. Who's ready for the learnings? Here's what happens. At Neo, I guide you in a totally clear, present, expanded state of awareness and alignment with your highest self to experience this in a whole new way. You will gather learnings, you will gather insights, you will gather the distinctions that unlock this pattern. How many of you can see that when you unlock the pattern at the root, everything after it changes? Can everyone see how deep this is? This is the difference that makes the difference of going to the root cause. Because once you create a shift here, it's like, I can see clearly now. Who knows that song? The rain is gone, I can see all. So what happens is your entire experience of reality recontextualizes itself in light of this learning. What if I shared with you, my friends, that after this level of breakthrough, it is so visceral and so profound that you even experience your own personal history different? Because the breakthrough happened all the way at the root. And then as you go through these experiences again, in the timeline process that I guide you through, you experience your whole life with a new level of empowerment, new level of clarity, new level of purpose. It's extraordinary. How we doing, everybody? Give me some feedback in the chats, because I think my team found this video. We're going to play this, and then I'm going to share with you the amazing things that we have coming up. And then I am going to take any questions as well before we go into the VIP room. How we doing? Julie says, wow, breakthroughs. Cynthia says, doing good. Okay, awesome. So there are so many stories. I could bring story after story, and I would love for you to be one of my case studies, because we're always looking for people who are committed to the transformational process so we could have case studies. Here's one example. Rebecca came. She was a real estate agent in LA. She went to Neo. She says that it released built up negative feelings and emotions that allowed her to let go and live in her true power with love. The end result was, in business, as just one example, she quadrupled her business, became the #1 producing real estate agent in her Los Angeles office. Totally changed her life. Here's another example. Carolyn Griffin, she's a chiropractor. She said, Neo was an integral part of expanding my chiropractic business. It allowed me to let go of issues clouding my mind. Often these are issues people don't even, like blind spots. Business intentions and progress. Since attending Neo, I opened a second successful chiropractic office and started another business helping people overcome gut issues with fermented food. This would have never happened if it weren't for the massive breakthroughs I experienced at Neo. Whoops. She says she's so grateful for the tools. And then look at her. It's not just in business. There she is with her husband. There she is with her children. Her children just followed in her footsteps and are becoming chiropractors right now. There she is in her health with her new business. So it's about bringing this transformation into all the most important areas of your life. Okay. So Guy, I know you had your hand up a moment ago. Is there anything, while I get this video up that the team went on a mission to go find, is there anything you would like to share about your Neogenesis experience? I met Guy in a room just like this where I was speaking and doing a presentation, and then he registered and signed up for Neo, and then he had a profound breakthrough. I'd love for you to share. What was life like before Neo? Then you came, you had a breakthrough. What's changed since?
Well, Neil, thank you, Niurka, so much. And this is just amazing, as always. You're just such an amazing individual. And for those that are meeting Niurka for the very first time, I really hope you do take the plunge and go for one of these courses and start following her, because there's just nobody else on the planet does what Niurka does the way she does it. For me and Neo, it was a very transformational experience. I thought I was signing up to figure out how I was going to get myself unstuck and be more successful in my businesses. And what I ended up doing was going very deep into an emotional state where I got met face to face with my anger, that little voice in my head that was anger that drove a lot of part of my life I didn't even realize was there. And in that process, I was able to let go of that anger. It completely gave me a whole new outlook to life and how I experienced life and the relationships around my life. I have never put another hole in another door from my fist since I went to Neo. And that happened multiple times prior to Neo, just to give you an idea of the rage I would sometimes fly into, which has not happened once. And that was back in 2014. It's 12 years ago now. It's just so hard to believe the difference that I've experienced as a result. And I too have done Neo multiple times. I've lost track of how many times, and then plus as a facilitator as well. So again, if you have anything that is kind of lurking, like it doesn't feel right and I'm ready to change, Neo is the place to make that happen. Oh, you're muted, Niurka.
Whoops. Thank you, Guy. Such a joy to have you, your beautiful lady, in our community, and just being with you over the years and seeing your profound growth and your leadership. And it's been epic. It's been extraordinary on your journey. Thank you so much for sharing. Give Guy some love. Guy used to be a fighter pilot. He used to fly F-16s. Isn't that pretty awesome? So talk about a shift in identity. He went from flying, fighter pilot jets to then flying commercial planes, and his journey with us has been extraordinary. So we have so many amazing stories. I'm going to share one other case study, and then we'll see. My team's sending me that one video, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. I'm going to share with you so you get the full spectrum of what it is that we put together, we have available for you. Then I'm going to take any questions, and then we're going to go into guiding more of this experience in the VIP room. But first I want to share with you, because since we're talking about beliefs, who's had a belief in the past that's caused them to shrink down? That's caused them to not shine, that's caused them to hold back, that's caused them to play smaller than what they're truly capable of. Listen to this amazing case study from Dr. Love. Dr. Love had a belief that she needed to shrink to fit. And she had that belief from childhood. And then she had a profound breakthrough experience. And look at what success she's experienced since. Check out Dr. Love. What was happening before Sia? Then you came, and now all these things.
It was kind of like flatline. I had this thing before I had my breakthrough with you, with Sia and the other programs, that I shrink to fit. And I've always had that, and that was that doubting thing. And because my mother said blah, blah, blah when I was little, so I got rid of the shrink to fit. That was my breakthrough. Yes. I've written books and things like that, but never a best-selling book. I love what I did with you. So since then, I have the best-selling book, best-selling international author, which is a big deal, 13 categories. I was on a cover of a magazine for February. Valentine's Day is also my birthday. So this was my Super Bowl month. I've never had a month like February, like this, with all the media. 2 TV interviews with TV show spots on NBC. In talks right now with a lifestyle show. I did mind mapping and all sorts of things like that, but it's breaking through and knowing I can do it. And it's from Sia.
Awesome. Super inspiring, right? From shrink to fit, to best-selling author, to having her breakthroughs. Who could feel the enthusiasm in her case study? So this is one of my favorite things. So having these case studies. So we'll share that one video with Gwen that we have for you, because my team just sent it to me. And then I'll share with you about the amazing experiences that we have together for you. All right, everybody, drum roll on this. And Gwen, when she first came, she's like, why are people revisiting this experience? And now she's coming for the 4th time. She's actually gone down the path and become a hypnotherapist as a result of the work she's done with us. And she's pursued this path as part of her life's work. So check out Gwen.
Neo is more personally transformative. It's over here, and it is a profound personal experience of transformation. Neo is where you drop down and you go into the deeper parts of your mind that you didn't even know were forming you. And the whole experience is very deep, it's very profound, and you pop out the other end. Niurka gives this amazing opportunity near the beginning of Neo and near the end of Neo to kind of pull up what your values are that are driving you in the specific area of your life. So for me, it was my relationship with myself the first time. I mean, the values at the beginning, you re-elicit themselves for yourself at the end, and they have changed. And I remember the first time being like, what is going on? Like, how did something change so deeply inside of me that my values have elevated like that in 3-4 days in an entire area of my life?
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So it's like, how did this happen? How did these values elevate in a full area of my life? That's precisely what happens. Who believes in miracles? Okay. So miracles happen when we show up fully present, available, and ready for that miracle. So my dear friends, I would be honored, inspired to guide you at a deeper level in total immersion. Total immersion is different from these introductory experiences. Introductory, we give you as much as we can in a short time. Total immersion is the deep dive transformational process, deep dive transformational experience. And here's what happens. Let me guide you through what happens in total immersion and the difference. Here we go. With these two courses, the most important thing is to take the next step. And we have two options for you to take the next step. Okay, here's what they are. We've got Supreme Influence coming up October 17th and 18th, which is Mindset and Communication Mastery. And then we've got Neogenesis, which is the deep dive, total immersion, transformation at the root, at the core that we just shared. So it's happening November 5th through the 8th, live virtual, and February 18th through 21st in person in Cancun. And I'm about to share with you what you're going to receive specifically at Neo. But first, I want to make sure, does anyone have any questions about the transformation that I just shared? About this? Just questions about the process. We're going to go into more Q&A in the VIP, but are there any questions? Who can sense that by going through this process, that it would be a major transformation in whatever you've experienced in the context of beliefs? Everybody? Awesome. So that's the deepest work at Neo. So let me share with you what you are going to receive. I'm going to talk about Neo first, even though the Neogenesis dates are a little further out, because Neo is the total immersion experience. Okay? And then after I talk about Neo, I'll talk about Supreme Influence, because that's the next step. So, okay. Drum roll, please, because I also put something special together for you. So if you guys want to give me a drum roll for what we have special for you. Okay, here we go. Special offers. All right, so Neogenesis is all about creating a new beginning in your life. Who's a graduate of Neo? You're in the room. You're a graduate of Neo. You've experienced so many breakthroughs. You're back for more. If you're a graduate of Neo and it's been powerful for you and you're inspired, you could put something in the chats for those that are here for the first time. So here's what Neogenesis gives you. Okay. Let me get my PowerPoint on. There we go. So the word Neogenesis is Greek. It means a new beginning. Neo is about going on a journey to create a new beginning in your life, and you arrive with one area. We are super context specific. I'm going to transform my finances. I'm going to transform my body. I'm going to transform my marriage. I'm going to transform my parenting. Whatever area you arrive with. Now, even though you're arriving with this area, the transformation is going to ripple out to every area of your life. So it's going to impact every area, but we start with a portal. So 4-day total immersion, release mental, emotional blocks, realign and reclaim your power, and consciously design the next expression of what you're here to bring into the world. So it's happening live virtual. From live virtual, it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. all day for 4 days. Okay? November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Or you can come in person, February 18th through the 21st. If you had a choice between the two, I would suggest to come in person. There's something that happens when we're in a space together. I mean, I love Zoom. Zoom's amazing, right? It's convenient. We're here from all over the world. We can plug in easy. How many of you can sense that it's a totally different experience when we're in person together on the beaches, in a retreat setting, intentionally coming together for a very clear purpose. That's another level of transformational experience, because you're leaving your environment, you're leaving the things that are predictive for you. You're leaving all those predictions and you're entering into a totally new environment. What that does, if you want the neuroscience jargon, is it creates what's called a prediction error. So what that does is it interrupts those old predictions and starts creating greater space for this transformational process, because you're not in your old environment. The other thing about the in-person events is that we bring in ceremonial experiences. So for example, in person, when we elicit the old values, everyone remember how I shared with you, and then Gwen in that case study shared how Niurka elicits the values on day 2, and then at the end we re-elicit them and they have changed. Who heard her say that, right? When we elicit the first set of values, after we elicit those values, which is a full day cathartic process, we go to the ocean. We go to the beach and we do a fire ceremony on the ocean together. Do you all know people have been gathering around the fire since the beginning of humankind's history? There's immense power after going through a transformational process that we come together, take off our shoes, put our feet in Mother Earth, light a fire, gather around the fire, bring the old values of who we were, sacrifice them into the fire in the space of our next level becoming. Okay? In this journey of the phoenix, allowing that fire to alchemize. The alchemy. Who knows the word alchemy? Alchemy is transformation. It's transmutation. It's transmuting the lead in your life into gold. So that is what happens. And I mean, we do it virtually as well, but there's something magical about being in person. So I'm really emphasizing the in-person experience, because we'll be gathered around the fire. You'll be sacrificing those old beliefs. You'll be sacrificing those old values, sacrificing those old identities into the fire. You'll be witnessed in ceremony by your beloved classmates and new friends from around the world. Have you all noticed how every ceremony has a witness? You get married, there's a witness. There's a baptism, you have a witness. This is an initiation into your next level becoming. Who can feel the depth of what I'm sharing here? This is not just a surface level personal development course. This is, people describe their life before neogenesis and after neogenesis. It is that profoundly transformational. So then after we go through the fire ceremony, we go in the next day and we do the timeline therapy process, the timeline re-imprinting process, where I guide you to the root of whatever's blocked you. We begin with emotions, and we begin with the densest emotions, the ones that block vision, block reason, cloud perception. I guide you to release anger, sadness, fear at the root. Who's had fear come up and take you out of alignment, cause you to shrink back, cause you to play small? Anybody had fear show up, eclipse your presence, eclipse your power? You're ready to have it happen for the last time? I will guide you with timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming. You'll be fully present, fully conscious through the whole process. It's going to blow your mind. One of the most profoundly liberating transformational experiences of your life. I promise you. Okay? And then after we do that, we go and do a water ceremony. So we have fire ceremony, transformational experience, water ceremony. We take a bus. We all go to the caves, underground water caves in Cancun. And we go and do a water purification ceremony. Who can feel that now that nature is in alignment with our transformational process? Okay? In community. And then as you get into the 4th day, it's what Gwen described, that your values have authentically aligned. The true values, the values of your highest self, the values of your unique expression, the values of what you incarnated in this life to bring. Now, the same thing is going to happen virtually, but just it's a deeper, more profound community experience happening in person. The content is the same. We're just not going to the underground water caves. Or the fire ceremony on the beach. So here's what we've put together, and then I'll share with you the amazing special offers we have. Let me share with you what you receive. So either live virtual experience on November 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, or live in person February 18th, 19th, 21. 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay? So Neo is normally $49.97. That's the course tuition. You're also going to receive a very detailed confidential questionnaire. It's much deeper than the questionnaire that the VIPs receive for this experience. This questionnaire is going to begin the neogenesis process the moment you receive it. People describe breakthroughs just by going through the questionnaire. It's going to elicit whatever's been happening, what hasn't been happening, what's been challenging you the most. And this questionnaire comes directly to me. And I am going to sit with your questionnaire in my meditation with my cup of tea, preparing for your arrival. So by the time you come, I'm already tuned in with you. I know who you are. I know what's happened, what hasn't happened, what work you've done, where you feel most blocked, what you aspire to create. And I am with you in alignment for the most ultimate breakthrough and outcome. So you get that confidential questionnaire where I spend exclusive time with you and your questionnaire before you even arrive. Then I'm going to guide you step by step through the whole process, bringing in a number of different modalities with precision for the greatest breakthrough. You're going to be guided through the entire process. You're going to get a manual that guides you through everything with prompts so you could write, so you can journal. You're going to get a dashboard with everything in your dashboard, and you're going to earn certification hours for those of you that are on the journey of certification. Some people come because they are just coming for they're especially coming for their transformational experience. Others want to continue the journey to mastery so they can help, coach, guide others. You're going to earn hours towards your certification. So there's an investment for virtual and then an upgrade to in-person. Okay? When you come in person, you get meals and accommodations. The offers that we have right now are double occupancy. That means you're going to be sharing with a new friend that you meet. If you want single occupancy, just email our team and then you can pay a price to upgrade to single. But here's where we do the fire ceremonies, the water caves. I mean, there's a picture of all of us going out. In person, it includes 6 nights and 5 days. The investment is well over $7,000. Here's the discount. Well over $7,000 with everything you have. Here's the discounts. If it's your first time coming to Neo, who would be their first time? You've never been to Neo before. If you've never been to Neo before and it's your first time, you're on the left side of this. Neo Virtual, from the first time, we've dropped it all the way down to $24.97. If you're a graduate, we always take care of our graduates. That means you could revisit for only $9.97. That's virtual. In person is below. I highly encourage in person. Only $39.97 locks you in right now, double occupancy with everything included. You're going to have a roommate, but it's going to include your tuition, your courses, your materials, everything. Your meals and accommodations, and your all course materials. And if you're revisiting, there's the revisit investment. Also, we're doing a fast action bonus. When you take action by midnight tonight, I'm going to give you a free ticket for Supreme Influence that's happening October 17th and 18th. So take action right now. The team will drop the link so you have the link. When you take action right now, you receive the fast action bonus of Supreme Influence for yourself. You get to go to Supreme Influence on the 17th and the 18th. And for the first 3 people who take action, just because I love rewarding action, first 3 people who take action, I'm going to send you an autographed copy of my book, Supreme Influence, and I'll write you a little love note in there. First 3 people are going to get a copy of this, and you'll see all these success stories, all these case studies, all these testimonials. And my dear friend, we believe so much in what this will do for your life that all of our courses are 100% guaranteed. What does that mean? Come to Neo, take action. If by the end of day 3, you don't feel that you've gotten your value's worth, just communicate to my team and we'll reimburse your tuition. That's how much I know. I want to give you nothing to lose except your limiting beliefs, okay? Nothing to lose except whatever's been blocking you, and everything to gain. So you have full certainty of what's possible. So now, I know we've only got a few more minutes. Before I pause and share about Supreme Influence, I really want to make sure that everyone's questions are answered about neogenesis so you can make the most empowered choice for you. Are there any questions about Neo? What you receive, what it's like, what you get? what you're navigating, what you're personally navigating in your life right now, and how this would relate to that. If you have any questions at all, you could just put your hand emoji up. I'd love to take any questions specifically about Neogenesis, or you could put the questions in the chats. Let me look at the chat, see if there's any questions. Okay. Did I do such a great job explaining that you guys don't have any questions? Okay. So whatever has been, let's see, wondering about, here's the thing, wondering about scholarships. Come on now. So here's what there's a law called the law of equivalent exchange. Anybody ever heard of this law? It's a law of alchemy. The law of equivalent exchange. It means that when you want something in your life, something must be given up to create space for it. It's a law of equivalent exchange. So what are you doing here for this transformation? You're giving up an old belief. You're giving up an old way of being, but you're also giving up currency, right? You're bringing in and making an investment. And when you make an investment in yourself, what is it that you're anticipating when you invest? It's a return. A return. So the greatest investment is always an investment in yourself. Now, if someone says, I'd love to go, how many of you would go if all of a sudden I raffled, let's just say hypothetically, I'm going to do a raffle and somebody gets to win a ticket. Who would be thrilled on the edge of their seat, ready to come? You're like, I'm like, somebody's going to raffle, somebody's going to win Neo and the beaches of Cancun. I'm just curious, who would be like over the moon over that? And I just want to pause for a moment and have you contemplate that. Because if someone, or if you would be thrilled to go somewhere over the moon, if you receive something for free, and I'm just saying this because of the scholarship comment, but you would hesitate. I'm not saying this is what you said, Julie, I'm just making an example, but someone would hesitate investing in themselves. What is the deeper message? Who can sense there's a belief there? Okay? Who can sense there's a belief there? So now's the time to challenge that belief. Challenge that belief. It's 100% guaranteed. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. The team will drop the links, and we have installment plans. And we're not a finance company, but we have installment plans because we're all about supporting and empowering you. I had my biggest breakthrough in Neo. Whoops, there was my other case study. You'll see a few other case studies at the bottom. You'll see Shamila. Shamila grew up in Sri Lanka. She had all these beliefs that she just needed to be quiet and she couldn't speak up. She came to Neo. She had the most profound breakthrough. She wanted to come to communicate better with her daughters, but she ended up realizing it was about her communication with herself. She had huge breakthroughs, and as a result of that, ended up returning, coming back, and then she grew in her company and ended up becoming the boss of her entire organization. Huge breakthroughs. All right, everybody, so let me share with you about Supreme Influence. Since everybody's crystal clear on Neo. Who's already coming to Neo if you're in the room? Macy, I know you're coming. Who else is coming? Tom, I know you're coming. Awesome. Delara's coming. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so Supreme Influence. Let me come back to Supreme Influence. Supreme Influence is the next step. If for whatever reason Neo isn't the time for you right now, at least take the next step and come to Supreme Influence. That'll get you on the journey. Okay, so what is Supreme Influence? It is a 2-day immersion event. It's more of a light immersion, not total immersion, okay? It's still immersion though. It is still immersion. So Supreme Influence is 2 days happening. Let me pull this up right now. Whoops. October 17th and 18th. And this is all about mindset and communication mastery. You're going to leave Supreme Influence communicating more effectively than you walked in and having tools, okay, to elevate how you think, communicate, influence. Supreme Influence is going to give you the art of influence and persuasion and how you show up. You're going to learn to ask questions with purpose and precision, how to call forth empowering states at will, transform patterns of procrastination, stress, worry, and step into alignment with your authentic, empowered self. So here's what it is. 2 days, virtual experience. It's $19.97. You get the confidential questionnaire, comes directly to me. You're going to get your workbook. You're going to get replays here, all the replays. You're going to get scripts. I'm going to guide you through the transformational process, and you're also going to earn hours towards your certification. Supreme Influence is normally $39. It's a 1997 course, but with all the bonuses, it comes out to just south of $4,000, $3,988. You can take action right now for only $397. $397, my friends. My team will drop the link. You can click right here. Register for $397. When you take action by midnight tonight, you get a free ticket to bring a guest who is new to the community. So you get buy one, get one. So for $397, you're going to get 2 tickets. It's for someone who is new to the community. Gift tickets, because we're all about expanding the power of this work. Now remember, when you buy Neo, you get the Supreme Influence ticket for yourself as a gift. And remember, the first 3 people who buy Neo are going to get an autographed copy of my book. All right, beautiful ones. Who's inspired about continuing this empowering conversation? Like keeping this momentum going, like not allowing the momentum to continue from here into the next stage. So my team will drop the link one more time. I encourage you to take action. This is a defining moment. Life will be different based on the decision you make right now. I remember Tony used to say that to me. He would say to me at 19 years old, Niurka, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So this is a moment of decision. And when you make the decision to take the next step, 100% guaranteed with nothing to lose, it will create space for you to have profound life-changing breakthroughs. And you'll look back, it'll be October, it'll be the end of Supreme Influence, or it'll be the end of Neo. And you'll look back on this moment and you'll remember this conversation and you'll say, wow, I'm so grateful I came. And we'll send out a couple emails after the session, but you'll hear some of the stories of people going, wow, I can't imagine what my life would look like if I didn't say yes. I can't even imagine. So I'll share one final case study, and then we're going to break and go into the VIP room. And I'll see before we do if there's any final questions. But this is Troy. And when Troy came to me, he was really struggling. He was overweight. He was stuck in his business. He was just navigating a lot of challenges, but he kept showing up, and he didn't just show up. He practiced the tools. He would show up and then he'd call his classmates and say, hey, can you do this technique with me? And hey, I'm navigating this. Can you practice this? So he applied it as a practice. And look at the breakthroughs he's had. He's recently become the chairman of the board of his own company. He never has to work another day in his life. Here he is. His company has been 3 times on the Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing companies. And he's married to the beautiful woman, love of his life. He's got a beautiful family, extraordinary success in business. Now he's coaching founders on how to exit their own companies. That's what he's doing. He's literally coaching founders on how to structure an exit of their own company. Check out actually, wait, let me make sure the sound is on. Check out his final case study right here. And then the team will also drop VIP links in case you guys aren't in the VIP room yet, so you could join us in there. So listen to Troy's share about his experience.
If you feel that calling, like, oh, this is interesting, I feel like this might be something, yes, take the leap, do it. Like, this is your opportunity because it's that voice inside of you that's guiding you. Spend the money, spend the time, do the investment, because you're going to be a different person by the time you come out. The only thing that's going to change is right here, and it's not going to happen unless you and get in the right environments, get with the right training, get with the right leaders, and that's where Niurka is a very specific gift, has a very specific tool. She's a very specific set of tools that she can use that transform people's lives. And it's not like the first time she's done this. I mean, I'll bring this out, but Niurka's been doing this for a very long time. But she's very talented at what she does. She's very precise. I mean, I think you've been doing this since you were 18, so I'm not going to say anything else, but like, she's been doing it a while, and she's impactful when you get around her. I mean, at that level of depth, I mean, and you're all day, all night doing this stuff, it's a different game. It just is.
Who can hear total immersion in his voice when you're there all day doing this? That's the difference of total immersion. Also, there's a big difference when you sleep on it. Meaning we do deep transformational work, you go back and you sleep on it. Do deep transformational work, go back and sleep on it. That's the power of the 4 days specifically. Because as you're sleeping on it, you're integrating it in a way that just doesn't happen in short segments. All All right, beautiful ones. How was today? Give me some feedback in the chats. How was your belief matrix? I'd love to hear from you. Life will be different. Chris, it's so good to see you. I'd love to see you with your camera on. I haven't seen you in a while. It's always a joy to have the graduates coming back. Okay? We always take wonderful care of our graduates. All right, beautiful ones. So we're about to close off this room in just 1 minute. Let's see. Everyone says amazing energy. Thank you for today. Awesome. So here's the thing. The team will drop the link one more time for the special offers. Like I said, first 3 who do Neo, it's probably already happened. Get a book. Take action. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. This will be a whole new neogenesis for your life, a new beginning. And I can't wait to be on this journey with you. All right, beautiful ones. We're heading into the VIP room. VIP room starts in 25 minutes. Go ahead and unmute yourself and let's hear your beautiful voices from around the world. And if you're not in VIP, get in VIP. It's only $97 and you'll get the replays and the team will drop the link. All right, let's hear your voices. We'll see you in the VIP room.
Thank you, Niurka. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Niurka.